Anyway, we'll move it on to Redbull Bora Hansgrohe, which seems to be a thing from the 1st of July. Well, it is going to be a thing. And we've talked about this before. And yeah, what do you guys make of this?
I like it. I think it's cool getting a. You see riders with the Red Bull helmets on, and it kind of felt like a bit of not a massive leap that they might just get fully involved in the sport in a team. And I think it's great that it's going to be Bora. I think they've been a team which has been like on the fringes of competing with Visma Lease Bike and their, Jumbo Visma previous editions and UAE Team Emirates, but they've just needed like two things, which has been a serious GC contender, which hopefully Roglic is going to be that, and probably just a bit more. Yeah, I'm a bit like that as well, Scott. But beggars can't be choosers. He was the only one available, and then the other one, being like big financial backing and really getting a good team around him. And Bora, Red Bull, whatever it's going to be now. Firstly, good opportunity for a cool jersey. Having under some concept art. Are those concept arts like official, or are they?
Yes. They have, well, they haven't said if it's exactly like it, but they said it's very similar to what they have proposed. So there was a jersey leak last week. It's very navy blue, and also the new team name, I think, is Redbull Bora Hansgrohe. That's going to be so long. I thought DSM Firmenich Personnel was too long, but Redbull Bora Hansgrohe is apparently the new name of the team. So yeah, navy blue seems to be their new colour scheme.
Sounds a lot like Lidl track. That's like the same colour palette, isn't it? It's a dark blue with a yellow and a red. That's exactly what. Like, is the green gone? Is that it? Is that Bora Hansgrohe green and whatever Sif yellow?
The yellow is gone, but the aquamarine stays for the Hansgrohe logo.
So, and wait, when does this jersey come into effect? Is that just next year?
Well, it was announced this week that the name, we don't know when exactly, but we believe it's towards the Tour de France. Ralph Dank had a big press conference this week to talk about it. So it will happen probably before the Tour de France, which is what we speculated beforehand. But yeah, Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe also announced as the official name of her team.
Well, it makes sense to do it before the tour. Like, you see special kits and stuff. Why not do like a big team kind of announcement, new jersey, new big hype sponsor, and not just like a niche brand, but like a well-known international brand. That's going to get a lot of talk going around Bora Hansgrohe for Roglic to crash on stage 6 into another hay bale or whatever. Lots of hype is going to be around that. But in all seriousness, I like it. I think it's a cool sponsor coming into the sport, and I think it means that Bora, and I guess we can go on to this now, can make some cool signings as well.
Yes. May I reference an article from my workplace, because it's actually quite useful?
Have they sponsored this segment?
No, but it was published. Well, it's published in the latest magazine, which came out last week. James Witt's profiles Ralph Dank last week. Well, the profile was published last week, and it does to discuss the Red Bull merger here. And he says that it's exciting to see how Red Bull will engage with a new audience. I think that is what's really key here, because the Red Bull have done such a good job at engaging a new audience in all these other sports and extreme sports that they have touched. Their social media team is fantastic. Their social media budget and marketing budget is just, it's in the millions. It's honestly like out of this world. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the sport as a whole. And as you say, it's not just another sort of Middle Eastern sports washing team or a morally questionable billionaire getting involved. This is a genuine company that people can go to their local supermarket, their grocery store, whatever you want to call it, and they can buy this product. They know this product. It has an identity in sport as a whole. It's not just, a Belgian building material.
It's not Pierre Baguette.
It's not Pierre Baguette. We'll get to Pierre Baguette later on. It's not Baby Dump. If anybody remembers that very awful sponsorship deal from a couple of years back, for context, they're a Dutch stroller company. But also in this piece, Ralph Dane goes on to talk about that he wants to sign big riders, but he also wants that homegrown talent as well. He wants to develop these younger riders, which I think we definitely saw a sort of demonstration of that this weekend with Florian Lipowitz, who was fantastic on stage 2 of the GDOT. And they do have a strong development team. They do have a strong youth program that's bringing people through. Roglic might not have been the natural sort of signing to have a sort of younger, more sort of protege rider. But in the long term, this is a long-term deal for Red Bull. It'll be interesting to see how they sort of cultivate talent in this age where these wonder kids are signed for like 8 years. Like Del Toro, as we spoke about, has a contract until 2029.
Lots of the rumours of the riders which they're signing are, like, I guess, like GC riders. There seems to be a little bit of a classics.
So you've got, we talked about Lascano from Movistar to this team. Jan Tratnik has been linked as well. Lawrence Pithy apparently super confirmed. And then Elizari as well. Some interesting riders there for sure.
Yeah, it is. And they've also got this new Red Bull Junior Brothers program, which is sourcing new talent and younger talent. This might be linked to that. Riders at Bora Hansgrohe, Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe will also have access to the Red Bull Training Center outside Salzburg in Austria, which is it's incredibly unique for cyclists. The only ones that currently have it are, who are they again? Wout van Aert, Tom Pidcock, Blankovac, any other Red Bull sponsored athlete. But it's a rare sort of novelty maybe for these riders to be able to access all of the sporting infrastructure that the Red Bull network and the Red Bull family of sports organizations have. That could be really exciting for these teams to get involved in. In the same way, I mean, Jumbo-Visma, not quite the same, but they had their speed skating team. They kind of had that two-pronged approach where they were sort of transferring talent between the two. This is bigger than just speed skating and cycling. This is a whole sort of network from F1 to competitive sailing to cliff diving. All of these sort of expertise and talent that you have across this huge network is a great pull for riders to move across to this team. And I think that's going to be a big pull in comparison to Visma Lease Bike, in comparison to Ineos Grenadiers, in comparison to UAE Team Emirates in the years to come.
Maybe a big pull for new people to come into the sport. You know, just as like a casual fan, you know, Red Bull sponsors a cycling team of a Tour. Maybe I'll tune in this year. And, you know, lots of people come into the sport through the Tour. I know I did like a decade ago when I kind of started watching cycling a bit more frequently. The Tour is the kind of the entryway for lots of people to come in, and the fact that you have a big brand and they're like, you know, I watch one of these other sports that you mentioned, or I watch F1. I'm going to, you know, support or, you know, track this Red Bull team. And they're like, actually, you know, cycling's actually kind of all right. And then you get a new following of people who then not only watch the Tour, they're like, I'll go and watch the other Grand Tours, and then I'll watch the other races, and then you get kind of more and more people in the sport. And I think I just think it's a really good thing in coming in. I think it's going to be great.
You think we're going to see Roglic being thrown out a plane in a parachute with his road bike?
Jesus, he can't go along a road like without crashing. Don't do anything to it.
Well, I saw this video where they like got one of their speed skaters and they tried to make him set the world record for the fastest skating speed. What if we got Roglic on the back of sort of in like, I don't know, it's a desert somewhere trying to like sprint up to like 120 kilometers an hour behind a huge like aerodynamic car? That could get millions of views and lots of eyes onto the sport. Maybe Roglic isn't the kind of person you need for that. Maybe it's going to be Danny Van Poppel.
Yeah, they need to get like, they'll do like a descending thing. Like they must do like a, you know, get some, there'll be a market for, if you're a really fast descender, Bora will hire you because they need you for like PR, basically. You don't need to climb well or do anything. Yeah, literally, watch Pidcock will move to Bora because
exactly.
Like the budget. And they're just like, well, we need you for marketing. We need you to do that Galibier again, but we're going to follow you with like a really fast drone, and they'll do that. Like, trust me, that would just for marketing.